Leonardo DiCaprio. His career as a leading actor, film producer, and his passion as an environmentalist and humanitarian has made his name known pretty much all over the globe. I'm Adam Andrews, and today on Where Are They Now, we're talking all about Leonardo DiCaprio, his career highlights, and yes, a little bit of drama. Leonardo Wilhelm DiCaprio was born on November 11th, 1974 in Los Angeles, California. His family wasn't the most wealthy, and one of his main motivations when he was trying to start acting was as a way of helping his family financially. Speaking of his family, his father George, who was a comic book writer, publisher, and distributor, had actually fell in love with another woman when Leo was younger, but wanting to raise Leo still, George and Leo's mother moved into twin cottages that shared a garden, and Leo became close with his father's girlfriend's child, Adam Ferrar. Adam was actually an inspiration for Leo to become an actor when Ferrar made $50,000 for appearing in a television commercial. There was a point early in his career when Leo almost gave up and his father successfully convinced him to carry on, so yeah, their bond was actually pretty tight. He began appearing in several commercials when he was 14 for Matchbox cars by Mattel, Kraft Singles, Bubble Yum, and Apple Jacks. In 1989, he landed his first television role of Glenn in 2 episodes of the television show The New Lassie, and by the early 1990s, began acting more regularly on television, hitting a bit more of a stride in 1991 when he was cast in Parenthood, earning him 2 nominations at the 12th Youth in Film Awards for Best Young Actor in a Daytime Series and Best Young Actor starring in a new television series. DiCaprio made his film debut later that year as well as the stepson of an unscrupulous landlord in the low-budget horror Critters 3, although he seems to be a little bit less proud of this particular credit and kind of doesn't really talk about it that much. Still, in 1991, DiCaprio became a recurring cast member of the sitcom Growing Pains, playing Luke Brower, a homeless boy who was taken in by a family. For his time on the show, he was nominated for a Young Artist Award for Best Young Actor, co-starring in a television series. But in 1992, things got cool. Robert De Niro handpicked DiCaprio from a short list of 400 young actors to co-star with him in This Boy's Life, a film directed by Michael Caton Jones. The next year, in 1993, is when DiCaprio got himself on the map, playing the disabled brother of Johnny Depp's character in What's Eating Gilbert Grape. The film became a critical success, and at just 19, DiCaprio earned a National Board of Review Award, as well as nominations for a Golden Globe Award and an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor, making him the 7th youngest Oscar nominee in the category. Following that, DiCaprio's first effort of 1995 was in Sam Raimi's Western film The Quick and the Dead, but Sony Pictures was all meh over DiCaprio's casting, and so his co-star Sharon Stone actually paid his salary by herself, which I thought was just crazy, even if the movie itself didn't really matter because it didn't perform very well. Instead, DiCaprio's next film in 1995 was The Basketball Diaries, a biopic where DiCaprio played Jim Carroll as a high school basketball player and writer with a substance problem. And then in 1996, DiCaprio starred opposite Claire Danes in Baz Luhrmann's film Romeo plus Juliet, which I saw for the first time in the first year of high school, and it's just the absolute wildest ride and style. It was kind of cool, like my 14-year-old brain couldn't actually wrap my head around what they were saying, but it looked really cool and the style was just out of this world. Romeo and Juliet grossed $147 million worldwide and earned DiCaprio a Silver Bear for Best Actor at the 1997 Berlin International Film Festival. Later though, that same year, DiCaprio starred in Marvin's Room, a family drama about 2 estranged sisters played by Meryl Streep and Diane Keaton, who are reunited through tragedy. And he totally held his own in this cast as Meryl Streep's son. It's actually kind of cool if you watch it. Now, this next film is what took DiCaprio to the next level of his career. In 1997, DiCaprio rejected a role in the film Boogie Nights, which was the right move as he instead chose to star opposite Kate Winslet in James Cameron's Titanic. DiCaprio apparently initially had doubts about even being in the film as it was different from his usual type of casting as a character with some kind of massive conflicting or dark past, but thankfully he was eventually encouraged to pursue the part by Cameron, and I don't know if I can imagine anyone else doing it, honestly. With a production budget of more than $200 million, the film was the most expensive at the time, but Titanic also became the highest grossing film at the time as well, earning more than $2.1 billion in the box office. So yeah, it was kind of worth it. The film also won 11 Academy Awards, which was the most for any film, but DiCaprio did not gain a nomination, which led to a protest against the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences by more than 200 fans. He was nominated for other high-profile awards though, including a Golden Globe Award for Best Best Actor, but that Best Actor Academy Award thing actually became a big thing online for years until he finally won Best Actor for The Revenant 18 years later. The role of Jack in Titanic turned DiCaprio into a superstar, and it also got his picture taped to the walls of a lot of teenage girls' rooms all over the place. He became very popular with young women in general, actually, in a cultural, I guess, event known as Leo Mania. Honestly, I kinda get it. Pretty good looking dude. Anyways, obviously DiCaprio became a bit more of a hot commodity, appearing in a few smaller films, which I'm gonna skip over, jumping to 2002 when Leo landed two pretty big roles. His first film that year was the biopic Catch Me If You Can, directed by the legendary Steven Spielberg. The film was shot across 147 different locations in 52 days, which Leo described as, quote, the most adventurous, supercharged movie making he'd ever experienced. Now, as a lot of you might know, the film received critical acclaim, and with a worldwide gross of $351 million against a budget of $52 million, it became this superstar's second highest grossing release after Titanic, and earned DiCaprio his third Golden Globe nomination. But in the same year, DiCaprio also starred in Martin Scorsese's Gangs of New York. If you haven't seen this movie, DiCaprio is great, obviously, but Daniel Day-Lewis absolutely stole the show in it, and it's worth watching for that reason alone. Scorsese and DiCaprio would actually team up a whole whack of times to make some of their best films. The Aviator in 2004, The Departed in 2006, Shutter Island in 2010, and The Wolf of Wall Street in 2013 are all on my favorites list. In 2004, at 30 years old, DiCaprio founded his production company, Appian Way Productions, with his first producing credit being The Assassination of Richard Nixon, starring Sean Penn as Samuel Bick. Now, that's not a bad start, honestly, but he's also co-produced The Aviator, which became a critical and financial success, grossing $213 million against its budget of $110 million, and giving the actor his first Golden Globe Award for Best Actor in a Motion Picture Drama, and nominations for an Academy Award, a BAFTA Award, and a Screen Actors Guild Award for Best Actor. Since we covered his rise up to stardom, let's do a power list of some of his other fantastic roles that deserve at least a mention. The same year as Departed, 2006, we got Blood Diamond. In 2008, we got Body of Lies and Revolutionary Road with Kate Winslet again. Then of course, in 2010, we got his team up with Christopher Nolan for Inception. He starred in Clint Eastwood's J. Edgar in 2011, and finally worked with Quentin Tarantino for 2012's Django Unchained, which led to their team up again for 2019's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. There was The Great Gatsby in 2013 alongside The Wolf of Wall Street, and then finally his Best Actor Oscar win that came in 2015's The Revenant. And since I enjoyed the movie, I'm going to mention 2021's Don't Look Up as well, because I thought it was cool, and it also kind of leads to this next point. Outside of his film career, DiCaprio is probably the most active celebrity on the issue of environmental activism. He was always interested in learning more and more about ecology from a young age. He established the non-profit Leonardo DiCaprio Foundation in 1998, devoted to promoting environmental awareness, which has worked on projects in over 40 different countries and has produced 2 short web documentaries. But under his production company, he has produced or co-produced some of the biggest and most influential environmental documentaries. He has spoken with the world's leaders, both individually and at summits, including the 2014 UN Climate Summit. He's spoken with presidents and the Pope, and has used his own vast amounts of wealth for his environmental and political activism, philanthropy, and to create awareness of the danger our planet is actually in. So kudos to him. Now, despite all that he has actually done, as well as owning electric vehicles and having a home powered by solar panels, he has actually come under controversy for his use of private jets and yachts, which do create a large carbon footprint. And speaking on controversies, there aren't that many. I think this has got to be largely due to the fact that DiCaprio will very rarely do interviews, and his personal life is kept extremely close to the chest. But recently, people have started to notice a trend in his dating life, and you probably know what I'm talking about. The 48-year-old has had a few girlfriends over the years, as you might suspect, and all of them were quite a bit younger than him, never making it over the age of 25, interestingly. Like, he kept getting older, but the girlfriends he had always stayed within the few, same age ranges. Like, Kind of like Matthew McConaughey's character in Dazed and Confused, just not exactly as gross, I guess? Leo wasn't breaking any laws or anything, but if I have to say that, that should explain why it certainly rubbed a few people the wrong way. The memes are hilarious though. Also, I didn't even know this, but in 2005, a Canadian model, Aretha Wilson, mistook DiCaprio for an ex-boyfriend of hers at a Hollywood party, which was apparently the reason she decided to hit the actor in the head with a broken bottle, requiring him to get 17 stitches. Now the model was eventually sentenced to 2 years in prison, but like, that's the reason she attacked this man with a broken bottle? Because she thought she saw her ex? Please keep her in prison, like, lock that woman up and throw away the key. That's terrifying. Anyways, Leonardo DiCaprio has won 101 awards out of 252 nominations. He has been nominated for 7 Academy Awards, 5 British Academy Film Awards, and 11 Screen Actors Guild Awards, and has won one of each of these plus 3 Golden Globe Awards from 13 nominations, and that's not even mentioning the awards for his activism efforts. His films have grossed $7.2 billion worldwide, and he's probably the most well-known actor on the globe. And this has been Where Are They Now? I'm Adam Andrews, thanks for watching, I'll see you on the flippy flop, peace out.